Hello students, today we are going to start the next part of the evidences of evolution. So the next evidence of evolution is geographical evidences. From the different geography we will see different flora and fauna, that is different plants and animals. So by understanding the plants and animals also we can able to get numerous examples of evidences of evolution, that this way evolution had taken place. So first of all, we have two type of distribution here. One is discontinuous distribution and another is restricted distribution. Discontinuous distribution means in different parts of the world we can see number of species. They have striking similarities and these organisms are found in different distantly present habitat. So how this is possible? This is an example of evolution. So this is a type of evolution which actually gets separated whenever the different geographical lands are present. So those geographical lands get separated, and after that those organisms, animals also get separated. So here first of all, discontinuous distribution. First of all, see, closely similar species exist widely separated planes without any representative, called as the discontinuous distribution. So if I can give you an example, suppose here we have the USA, North and South USA, and here we have the Asia and Europe, here we have the Africa, here we have the India, and this is the Australia. So this is the world map. So in the world map we can see different animals, different plants, and they are separated widely. In the middle there is no channels by which the animals can move or the plants can move or plants can migrate. So how is it possible that these animals, without any representative, they are found in distantly or widely separated regions, right? So see, first of all I can give some examples. First of all, alligators. All of you know what is alligator. Alligator means it is the crocodile-like animal, just its mouth part is a little wider. So alligators are found in South US and China. So South US and in China we see the alligators. So how is it possible that these alligators move from this location to this location? No, they might have in the same geographical land, and after that without any representative also they're found in, so it's thousands of miles away. So this is possible of a evolution, which is example discontinuous distribution. Next one is camel. So this camel is found in Asia, this is Asia, and in US, southern USA. Okay, in USA and in Asia this animal camel is found. Next one, elephant. Elephants are found in Africa and in India. So these lands, they were actually in the same mainland, and after that they get separated, and the different animals, they can be found in those locations, right? So this is elephant example. This is discontinuous distribution found in Africa and in India. Next one, flower is here. This flower is tulip and another flower is sassafras. So both this tulip and sassafras, they're found in eastern USA and China. In this region, in eastern region, we see this flower, that is tulip, and in China also this flower is found. So how is it possible that the flower that can be present in so widely separated area or location? This is an example of evidence of evolution. One example within this evidences of evolution is discontinuous distribution. Then after that, let us see the next one, that is restricted distribution. What is restricted distribution? See, the parts separated from the mainland have unique flora and fauna. See, we can see in the world map that this Australia, they get separated before millions of years, right? So whenever this Australia gets separated, here in Australia some unique organisms start to appear, and from that one example is marsupials. So what are the marsupials? Marsupials, they are the pouched animals. Okay, So you might know this example, that is platypus. So please, platypus, this is a egg-laying mammals. Normally the other mammals, they're found in the Eurasian continent and also in the American continent. They are actually the normal eutherians. They are placental mammals. But those animals, they are developed only in Australia. They are actually the non-placental animals or the marsupials. So egg-laying mammals and the pouch mammals. Okay, so pouch mammals who have a pouch in the belly region. So this is an example of restricted distribution. So this restricted distribution represents the animal which are found only in a restricted area. Anywhere else in the world we will not able to find that species or that specific organism. So this is an example of restricted distribution. So we have seen the discontinuous and restricted distribution. See, artificial selection. So artificial selection is also an example of evidence of evolution. So in this artificial selection, see, artificial selection means what? Artificial selection means it is a process by which the farmers and the animal breeders, they cross the different species within the same suppose species or from the different species. They breed the two animals and after that in the offspring they get the desired product. So this is called as the artificial breeding. So artificial breeding is also an example of evidence of evolution. So I will give you some of the examples that even in case of cow and in case of dog we can see the process of artificial selection. So whenever we see the artificial selection, we get that yes, this animals that can have the different desired characters. So those different characters will be possible if we selectively breed the different species. And for the ploughing process or to get the suppose amount or the quality of the milk, if we need to increase, then we have to breed the different varieties of the cows and we can get the different products. For the dogs also, we have seen a number of dogs. How is it possible? It is human who breed the different varieties of dog, and after that we now can see a number of breeds. Naturally they are not present, but artificially we can get the different breeds or varieties of dogs. So what is given in this? See, the farmers have selectively bred the plants and animals for the desired traits. For example, generation of different breeds like cow and dog. So cow and dog and sheep, they are available. We can see, we have seen also that the different varieties of dogs are available. Like the Pomeranian dogs, then the pug, they are not found earlier. They are actually bred by the animal breeders, and they got the different varieties of dogs. Then after that, generation of different vegetables like broccoli, kale, cauliflower from the wild mustard. So this is in nature, a plant is available, that is wild mustard. So from the wild mustard, see, the farmers, they have produced varieties of vegetables or the plants. What are they? Kohlrabi, we know. Then after that, cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, red cabbage, kale, all of them, the farmers have artificially bred the different species with different species, and after that we get the wild mustard. So another example here I have given, from the rock pigeon we can get the pouter where the neck part is coming out. This is called as the pouter. Then fan tail, towards the tail region it seems like a fan. And Jacobin, this is also a type of pigeon. So from the pigeon we can see the different types of pigeons. This different type of pigeons we can get by the artificial breeding procedure. So what is that? It has been argued that if within hundreds of years man can create new breeds, then could not nature have done the same over millions of years? This is actually a question mark. That means, or exclamatory we can give, that human have bred a different varieties of breeds, right? by the artificial selection procedure, men have produced different varieties of vegetables or the animals. Then obviously the nature in millions of years will produce the different species by different process of mating or crossing. Different animals could exist, different species could exist, different phylums could exist. So if we can do it, nature have obviously done the process of formation or evolving different species. So it is possible that life is originated, or evidences of evolution we can see by the artificial selection procedure also. After that, let us see the next example. Once again, this is evidence of evolution, that is natural selection. So nature selects some of the species at a specific time, and that organism can be wiped out by the nature once again due to different natural factors. So we will see one very famous example. That example is industrial melanism. So what is industrial melanism? See, in England, before industrialization, when there was no industry, there were some plants, the bark of the plants. So I will show here, these are the two barks of the plants. And whenever there was no pollution, there in 1800s, the plants, over the plants, there was a lining of lichens appear. So what is the color of the lichen? White in color. So in that bark, actually the color become white. Now there are two types of moths were there. One is white colored, another is grey colored. So if you see the white colored moth and grey colored moth, okay, so here we see grey and black colored moth. Whenever the predators see, the predators means the birds whenever they saw the or they search for the food, first of all the grey colored moth start to appear on their eye. Okay, so the predators took the grey colored moth because in that background the white colored moth get blended and only the grey colored moth get contrasted. So whenever the grey colored moth they get contrasted, the birds can see only the grey colored moth and they take it. So that's why before industrialization, the white colored moth they started to increase and grey colored moth they started to decrease. This is a condition of nature, right? Now during industrialization, so it is the pre-industrialization state. So in the pre-industrialization, before industries, what happened? The white colored moth they were very high. White moth, the amount of white moth were very high, and grey colored moth they were very less. And why this is happening? The white colored moth get blended with the white or off-white background, that because of the lichens, and the grey colored moth they get contrasted. They are taken by the birds, and after that the grey colored moth started to decrease. Now during industrialization, what had happened? Okay, so during industrialization, what had happened? In the industries, the charcoals were used, right? So whenever the charcoals were used, the lichens, the lichens are the indicator of the pollution, right? So whenever the industrialization process started to occur, then from the bark, what had happened? The lichen layer they started to completely disappear. The lichen layer completely disappeared, and the original color of the bark that appeared. So the original color is grayish, blackish in color. So in that, suppose this is the black colored background. So in the black colored background, what type of, suppose this is the black colored background. So in the black colored background, you can see the white colored moth. So white colored moth get blended, and which one, white colored moth they get contrasted, and the grey colored moth they get completely blended. So this is also a moth. Here the moth is present. There is another moth present. So in that we can see only the white colored moth, right? So white colored moth they completely get contrasted, and now the birds can see the white colored moth. So now the thing get opposite. The birds they can see only the white colored moth, and that's why what had happened, the white colored moth they started to be consumed by the birds. So at one period of time, in this whole gray colored or black colored condition, in that during industrialization, the white colored moth, they started to decline, and we can see only the gray colored moth. The gray colored moth percentage was very high as compared to the white colored moth. So at that time, what had happened, the white colored moth, they get contrasted to the background, right? So that's why their numbers, they get declined very high, and the gray colored moth, they are very huge, and the population was very huge during industrialization. And after that, the next condition is the post-industrialization condition. Post-industrialization means it is the second after the introduction of electricity. So whenever instead of charcoal, electricity was used, the pollution level started to decline. So whenever there was no pollution, what can happen, once again, as there is no pollution level in England, once again the lichen started to appear. Once again, whenever the lichen started to appear, then once again this condition get same. That means, first of all, once again this background become white. Now the gray colored moth, once again can be contrasted to the background, and once again what happened, the birds, they saw only the gray colored moth, and at one period of time the white colored moth, once again population increased. So once again the thing had become same. So what was happened at that time, whenever electricity completely replaced the charcoal, then once again white colored moth, they started to increase, and grey colored moth, they started to decrease. So first of all, pre-industrialization period, when the white colored moth was very high and grey colored moth was very less. When during industrialization, the whole phenomenon get reversed, and during post-industrialization, once again the earlier condition, they appeared like the pre-industrialization period. So same thing had happened once again. So what is that? This is industrial melanism. So depending upon just the color, one color of moth was selected by nature, one colored moth was not selected. So that's why population declined. So this is also one example of natural selection. This is evidence of evolution. So I hope you understand, these are all the evidences of evolution. So that's all about the video. We'll meet you next day.